Hey guys, welcome back to Selenium with Java, April 2024 batch, online training session 8. In today's session, I will start with TestNG and another session will be there on TestNG. So, session 8 and 9 will be purely on TestNG. Session 10 and 11 will be on data driven, keyword, and hybrid framework and how to read and write the data from the Excel sheet with the help of the Apache PY. And last session is 12 session will be on the BTD cucumber and how to generate the external dependent and other stuff. So in today's session, I will cover TestNG overview, how to install like TestNG step by step. What are the different annotations where I will cover enabling and disabling test, prioritization of the test cases, hard and soft assertion, and importance of depends on method, always run, invocation count, invocation timeout, and skip fail invocations attribute in TestNG, and how to run multiple test suite in TestNG as well in today's session. Okay. So, what is TestNG? Why TestNG is required? So, as of now, what we did, right? We have tried to create a Java project, right? And we have tried to run a Java particular class one by one, and we are able to run it successfully. But as of now, right, in case we are having 20 test cases, but in case you are creating keeping in a single file, right, so it will be treated as single test case only. Okay, but the thing is that, but I want to create 20 test thing in separate test case, but it will not allow us until you are using any support sort of framework, maybe JUnit or TestNG, which is already built in framework. And apart from that, Java is not, the project is not giving any kind of report which is really required for any kind of testing, whether you are doing manual, functional, API, automation, anything, right? You need to generate some beautiful report and you need to share with respective stakeholder, but it is not giving me. So that is the reason we will try to use the inbuilt framework called TestNG and JUnit, and definitely we can generate the beautiful report as well. So TestNG, where NG stand for next generation, is a JUnit inspired open source automation testing framework which provides several features like data driven testing, parameterization support, different utilities, annotation, and test case grouping, which aids in creating robust and powerful testing project. What testing is support? It will support all kind of primary testing, like starting with unit, functional, end-to-end integration. So initially testing was not in the market. First JUnit was came in the market, and JUnit primarily used by the developer for the unit testing. After that, right, but JUnit later point of time it found that maybe it is specific to develop centric. But nowadays just JUnit also you can use in the cucumber project. That is fine. But inspired from the JUnit, right, TestNG came into the market with added advantages, a lot of additional features. So now TestNG supports most kind of testings requirement, and testers will definitely use TestNG framework whenever you are going with Selenium with Java. In case you are going with Selenium with CHAS, it will be NUnit framework or XUnit framework. Okay, like that. Okay, mostly similar, but yeah, some sort of difference is there based on the programming language type. So using TestNG, user can generate a proper report. User can easily identify how many test cases passed, fail, or maybe the skipped as well. In case user need to execute the failed test case separately, it is also possible. It is also possible with the help of the TestNG only. So why TestNG is useful in Selenium? The testing framework can be easily integrated in any of the tool, like it can be Maven, Jenkins, etc. It generate the beautiful report I already mentioned, right? For any kind of testing, report is required. Sometimes you need to share the report with the lead, with the management, external stakeholder, everything. Without proper report, testing will be incomplete, because for everyone, right, who does not have any knowledge, like program, product owner, scrum master, all this stuff, right? Okay, they will not be able to understand. Okay, so they will not be able to understand the coding and other stuff until you are generating some report and sharing with them. Okay, so that is the reason reporting is very required for any kind of project, even in automation as well. Multiple test case grouping. So say you are having 100 test case, just say simple example, 100 test case, but will you run 100 test case always? The answer will be no, because sometimes you need to run 50 test case, sometimes 20, sometimes 30, based on a requirement. Sometimes you need to run only the sanity of the mock suit, where maybe maximum 10 test case can be there. So you need to group them, right? And the sanity, functional, end to end, UAT, all this stuff, and based on the grouping, whatever requirement, you can run them as and when required. Same test case can be executed multiple times. No need to copy the code. There is an option called invocation count. If you give it 5, so same test case will be running it 5 times. So that is the beautiful attribute available in the testng invocation count. Using testng, user can execute multiple test cases on multiple browser, which is the cross-browser testing or the parallel testing. I already covered in Java session the concept of thread, right? Where we will be using the thread part. And we will see that instead of one, right, we can try to execute the multiple test cases parallelly, and it will help this time and effort as well. There are a lot of annotations which are very easy to understand. Okay. Test is simplifies the way tests are coded. There is no more need of static main method in our test. That is one of the important feature of testng. So as of now, what we see, right, we are always using like the public static void main method from the Java. But whenever you are dealing with testng, you no need to use that one. Without that, only simply using @test annotation, you can run your test cases and you can write have n number of test cases instead of one test case. In case some of the exception might be easily handled or tackled using testng as well. So what are the important features available in testng? I already mentioned, right, the grouping part, already mentioned, reporting part already mentioned, right? Grouping, we can do grouping in different area. Reporting is another feature, right? HTML report will be there, and report can be configured as well down the line. I will cover it in the next session. Run test case in parallel, right? There's a testng.xml file where you can give the thread count, and you can set up so that like test case can be run parallelly with different browser as well, like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, etc. Different type of assertion. So in Java you already see like there are as like if loop, for loop, right? You can use if else, all this stuff for the assertion. But generally all this stuff will write prolong your code, and you can have right need to extend your code, all this stuff. But definitely we need to simplify the thing. So in testing there is a concept called assertion, hard assertion, soft assertion. We will discuss today. With deal with the assertion, you can easily verify the expected and the actual result. In case matching, it will pass the test case. In case not matching, it will fail the test case. We can make test case something called dependency management, dependent, right? Something we can do. Why it is required? Just let's understand simple example. Suppose e-commerce site. Okay, if you go to the any e-commerce site, maybe Amazon, Flipkart, right? All this stuff. What you need to do first? You need to open the URL. After that, you need to give your credentials, maybe mobile number or email ID, password. Then only login will be successful. Then you need to search the product, right? Any kind of product. In case product is there, then you can search the size of the product. In case everything is there, then you can add the product to the cart, and then you can make the payment. And in case after the product is delivered, in case you are not satisfied with the service, you can write kind of refund, return the product as well. That is the way flow will be there. But say there are scenario, right, called returning product, making the payment with different option, all this stuff. But say your product is not available, then what is the point of like making the payment and returning all this stuff? So we can make something dependent. So what is the importance of dependent? In case you are making something dependent, okay, suppose in case product is not searchable, that test case will fail. But in case my dependency with the like login, product search, other test case will testing will not have not will we need to start them, so that we can save the effort, right? Simply it will be skipping. It will skip them instead of running and failing. It will simply skip them. So that is the reason dependency is a very important attribute in the testng. Depends on group, depends on method, all this stuff we can do it. Data driven testing and parameterization. This is the two important aspects. I will cover mostly tomorrow's next session. Okay. So what is data driven testing? Suppose say in any of the project, right, you may need to create some test data, where similar kind of data you need to create but with different variation of the combination. So data driven testing is nothing, right? You need to run a single test case with different variety of the data. Means you will be just changing the parameter value, that's all. All the flow will be remain same. You will be validating, changing the data flow, and you will be creating the test data accordingly. Whereas your parameterization is means like you want to run multiple things with same data combination. Suppose you want to do, you are having two kind of parameters or variable, say, okay, A and B. But with these two variable, you want to perform different operation. Maybe you want to perform like addition, you want to perform subtraction, multiplication, right? Division, etc. But your method is different, your functionality is different, but your parameter is still same. With these two things, maybe 20 and 30, with these two parameter value, you want to do per 5 6 operation. So that means you are doing the parameterization, right? So with using same parameter value, you are trying to execute multiple things. That is called parameterization. So these are the important features you need to understand the concept. Then only you will be able to do the coding part. And so what is the difference between TestNG and JUnit? JUnit came first, primarily is used by the developer and for unit testing, whereas TestNG came later with added advantage, primarily used by the testing team, having lot of advantages. Okay, there are couple of annotations available in TestNG which is not there in the JUnit, like before after show, before after test, before after group. These are not available in JUnit. In TestNG, it is possible to run Selenium WebDriver test case in parallel, which JUnit will not allow easily. Based on the group, you can write execute the test case, but in JUnit is not there. And dependency is also another feature which is available in TestNG, but JUnit does not allow it. So how to do the installation for TestNG? So this is only one time activity, you need to do it in the Eclipse level. So what we do, we will go to Eclipse. Okay, we will go to Eclipse and we will go to click on the help, and there's an option called Eclipse Marketplace. If you click on that, it is only one time activity. Once you are associated, okay, so it will so you could here, like you could click search and TestNG and just click on the go. So it's already available for my thing, that is the reason it will be there install. Otherwise you can select and you can click uninstall button, install, and all this stuff. Just simply follow it, it will be installed. Once it is installed, it will be available in the install section, right? You could able to see the testing is already installed. That's simple thing. Okay, whatever already installed, that will be visible, right? TestNG for Eclipse, that is the thing you need to install. So I already given the steps here. Okay, nothing, and after that you need to restart the Eclipse. Then what you need to do after your TestNG is installed to your Eclipse, then you need to associate TestNG to your project. How can you do it? You can create a new project as well. After that, right click and go to the properties and Java build path. Okay, then you can click on add library, and there you can find TestNG in case it's available, right, to Eclipse. Then you can select next and then finish. That's all. It's already I have added it. Now you could able to see the TestNG is added, right? Apply and close. Now once it is added, if you go down, right, you could see under the reference library TestNG is being added, right? There are a lot of things, right? All the different packages will be also there. That's all. So that is the second thing. One, you need to associate, add TestNG to your Eclipse. You need to associate TestNG to your project because it's a library, not the jar file. TestNG is a library, it's a framework, right? Then you need to create a TestNG project, TestNG class. How can you do it? Just in the training, in the SRC folder, you can create a package, new package as well. So I can click training, right click here, click on new. Instead of Java class, you can click on other. Okay, and here you can type TestNG. You could able to see TestNG folder, TestNG class. That's all. Click on next. Now you can give something name called session 8 TestNG and click on finish. That's all. Now you could see testng class got created, and you could see some differences. This is the class, and here at the rate annotation is there, and there is a method got created by default. It will be generated by default. So that is called test cases. At the rate test annotation means test cases, and you can change the method name here called test1 say, and you can add some body here, so say output for. Okay. Okay, that's all. You could see now here there is no public static void main method, right? If you open any of the existing thing, you could see public static void main method were always there, and execution is starting from that one, right? Public static void main method. But in testng there is nothing. And whenever you want to run in Java class, if you right click here, run as, you could able to see it is showing as Java application. Make a note. Okay, but whenever you want to run in testng class, right, you could see the options will be coming as run as testng test. That is the difference, because you are trying to run with the help of the testng. So testng test will be there. If you run it, you will try to run, and you could see it's run, and you could see some difference in nature right here. It is showing the output, and what is passed. What passed? Test1. What is test1? Test1 is a method got passed, and default test, and number of run. You could see test case run 1, there is failure 0, skip 0. Go down you, right, you could see total run 1, passed 1, skip 0, fail 0. Now there is an option in the downside, right, result of running class using testng, right. Here if you see, that is default should default test, so that we can change a later point of time, test should num should and test, that will show you. And here it is coming as package name dot class name, and this is called method name. How much time it got take. And if you go to fail test case, in case something is getting failed, you could able to see. If you go to summary, how many class executed, how many method executed, you could able to see. Now let's refresh the project. Right click, click on refresh. Okay, now you could see there is a folder generated test output, which initially not there, but if you run testng, that folder will be generated every time, it will be updated. Now if you expand it, there is some emailable report.html folder will be generated, right? File will be generated. Emailable report.html. If you right click, if you try to open with web browser, you could able to see some sort of report which is coming from the testng. What default test got run, how many passed, what is failed, what retried, all this stuff, total time taken, right? What is the should name, what is the package name dot class name, what is the method name. You click here, right, you could see all this stuff. So that is the way testng will be giving you some sort of beautiful report every time after run. Now say if you want to run one more test cases, so it will be separate test cases. So at the test annotation will be there, but your method name should be always unique, right? You can see update for test2. Now if you run it again using testng test, like it will be run 2 test cases instead of 1 test cases. You could able to see the result also, right here. 2 test cases run, 2 pass, and output coming. What is method come test1, test2 executed. Now if you go to the here, right, you could able to see all test cases, total number of 2 test cases passed. So default should default test, this is the package name, not the class name, and the test1 and test2, how much time it takes, all this stuff. Total pass 2, fail 0, skip 0, all this one. So that is the beautiful of the testng, right? You can make separate test cases. In case something is failing, it will not impact the other. Okay, that is the way we can get the details. Okay, and testng will be having some differences among, whatever you have done so far. I will take a pause, guys. Any questions? All good? Okay, cool. So there are a lot of annotations available in testng. So at the rate is nothing but the test cases. It will be considered as test cases. So what is annotation? An annotation is a tag or metadata which provide additional information about the class, interface or method or in TestNG. Annotation are primarily used to keep the structure of the test classes. This annotation invokes the method according to the invocation time. So test means the test cases. Before class, after class, it will be executed only one time. Before the class, after class, every class. Before group, after group, similarly in case group is there. Before method, after method, it will be for every method. Before test, after test, it will be for every test. Before shoot, after shoot, it will be for every shoot level. So let's try to import something and see what happening. And here you no need to make any sequence because it will automatically run based on the alphabetical order. You no need to make any sequence like the test 2 will be executed later and test 2 will be executed first based on the sequence. It does not matter. So whatever way you want to give, that is fine. I can make it in the top, middle, bottom, that does not matter at all. Here before test. Okay, that is the syntax. And similar way you can create something. That's thing will be always there. So method name I can give, say before test, b test, and here output for before test. Okay, and now we need to import that before test from the test ng, right? You could see this coming from origin to test engine to Android, right? You can make it after test. So it's always unique. Now I need to import it. Similarly, you can make all the other one, right, one by one, whatever way you want to do. So before test, after test, before class, say I want to do. So element will be there to analyze unique method name or thing part. Before class I need to import, after class I need to import. Similarly, I can go with the before method as well. I need to import it because this is the annotations coming from the test ng. Now let's see. Similarly, shoot group will be only available whenever you are using the group. Group generally does not use much. Before shoot, after shoot also you can use. Now you could see what is the difference. So this will not be considered as test cases. These are the pre-condition and the post-condition only. Wherever at the rate test annotation will be there, only this will be considered as test cases. Now you could see the output, right? First before test executed, then before class, and before method, after method will be executed every time for every method, right? You could see before method came, after method came again for after before test 2 again executed. Okay, that is the way it will be executed. Okay, but at the test will be only considered as a test case. So what is the sequence? You could see first before shoot, then before test, before class, before go, before method, then your test cases, after method, after group, after class, after test, after shoot. So shoot will be executed only one time. Test, in case you are having multiple test shoot, it will be executed multiple time. In case you are having multiple class, it will be executed. In case you will be having multiple method, it will be executed at the method level. So that is the way it will do. Okay. So that is the way we can do it. Now say let's comment out this part. Let's create 3 method for now. So 3 executed, got it, right? So it did not given any kind of thing here. But say I have already have couple of test cases, but I don't want to execute always. So instead of commenting or removing the thing, I can make them disable, so that they will be available but they will not be executed. So TestNG provides an attribute for enabling and disabling our test cases. There are many times when user do not want to run a particular test, and it is not a better way to remove the whole test method from the class and add it again in case user want to run the test again. So we can use enabled equal to false to make it disable. In case nothing is there, or you can make enable equal to, it will be again it will be executed always. So by default means nothing, means it will be always enabled equal to true. So enabled equal to true or nothing, it is same impact. Okay, but in case you are making it enabled equal to false, so it will be available but it will not be executed. Now you could see I have 3 test cases, right? Test 1, test 2 and test 3. Now if I execute, so 2 will be executed wherever no annotations or wherever there is like enable equal to 2. Now you could see 2 run. Which run? What test cases run? Right? Test 1 and test 2. Test 3 did not run. Why? Because it is enable equal to false. You go here, test 1 and test 2 run. So in case I don't want to run a particular test case, though it is available in my TestNG thing, okay, then you could able to understand. Okay, so in case you are having 10 test cases but you don't want to execute 2, so you can make them enable equal to false. In case you want to execute, either you can put enable equal to, or you can no need to give anything. That is still work. So that is fine. Still work. It 2 will be executed always. That is the way, right? If you want to enable or disable some test case, you need to use enable equal to true or false. Then the prioritization part, right? So in case you normally want to execute, it will take the alphabetical order. But I want to execute in some order. Why I require the prioritization? So suppose say you are having 5 test method, right? One is for the login, one is for logout, one is for like adding the product to the cart, right? One is for like making the payment, one is for returning. But if I go to the alphabetical order, adding the product, A will come first, you will try to execute first. But what the problem will happen? What the problem will happen means, unless you are launching the URL and you are able to log into the, then there is no point of executing. So it will fail all the test cases, because like the thing will be trying to execute based on the alphabetical order. So to avoid the failure part, we need to go for the prioritization of the part. Okay. So how can I make it priority? So say of test 3, I want to make it executed first. So priority equal to, I can give it maybe 5. Okay, I want to execute test 2 as second, so I can give it 10. It does not matter that you have to give in sequence, it does not matter at all. Okay, you can just, it will lower will be executed first and bigger will be executed last. Okay, you could see. Now your sequence of execution you could be able to understand. Test 3 executed first because the priority is less. Test 2 executed second because next priority, and test 1 is highest priority. You can give something as negative as well. So priority will take negative sign as well. So lowest means executed first, then go on. Higher will be executed last. So it will allow any numeric value negative to 0 to positive value. So now you could see test will be executed first, because minus 10 is the last here, right? Lowest one. Test 2 executed first, then test 3, 5, and last one is 15. Why generally we need to give some difference, so that in later point of time, if you want to add one more method, right, you can just have it like 12, 13 like that. So always try to give something, I mean differences, so that any method later point of time you want to add it, you can change it accordingly. Otherwise you need to change everything. Okay. In case you are not giving anything for that, so it will take the default one, which is 0. Now 0 will be executed first here. Nothing means it will be considered as 0. Then 5 and then 10. You could see still it will work only test 2, 3, 1. same way, right? 2 3 1. In case something is having two same priority, so again it will go on based on the alphabetical order. Okay, so give it same priority, means nothing means 0, automatically same priority, so it will execute first alphabetical order. So test 1 alphabetical order it is first, so you will execute test 1 first, then test 2, then test 3, right? Okay, so priority only take the numeric value or negative value to 0, but if you give some decimal value, right, it will not allow, it will throw the error. If you give some string value, it will again throw the error. It will only take the numeric value and negative to positive value, and including 0 also. And in case it is having same priority, then those will be executed based on the alphabetical order, ascending order, alphabetically lowest to highest. So that is the different part of the priority. I will take a pause, guys, again. In case you are having anything, you can discuss one more time. All good, guys? Yeah, Raksa. Go ahead.
No, sorry, it was my mistake actually. I'm
Okay.
good with you.
Yeah, try to understand, because this is the very critical. Last 5 season is very very critical one, right? It might be easy
Yes.
sometime to understand, but you need to do more and more practice. Then only you can able to feel the some problem, and you can have the solution as well.
Yes. Thank you.
Next is assertion. So I already told, right? Assertion is really required, right? We are using suppose if else loop and other stuff, right? Okay. So what we can do, instead of this part, we can use assertion to verify the expected and actual outcome and other stuff. Okay. So assertion in TestNG are used to verify whether the test is failed or not in TestNG framework and in automation framework as well. Test cases is considered to be passed only if all statements in test cases execute successfully, and in case exception is thrown or expected result do not match the actual result, test case is considered to be failed. So in TestNG there are two type of assertion. One is hard assertion, one is soft assertion. What is hard assertion? First we will understand. Hard assertion means in case you was using hard assertion and in case somehow your test case got failed, your execution will stop immediately and remaining line of code will not be executed. That is the drawback of hard assertion. So let's see hard assertion part. So say here I can give something called code before assertion. Okay. And code after assertion. And here you can just try to do something assertion. Okay. What is the hard assertion? So you can, there's a assert class available, hard assertion dot assert equal. You could see this is the method coming from the assert class. So suppose I want to check with two integer. So I will fail it. I will make 10 and 11. So it will definitely fail because 11 and 10 is not matching, right? It will fail. So what will happen, you could see, understand. Yeah. You could see now one test case got failed and two test case got what. What is the problem? Right click here, copy the TestNG test, open in notepad, and you could able to understand it. Why it is failed? Expected 11 but found 10, right? What it is failed? Where it is failed? Line number 56, training package class method test1 and line number 56. You can go here, line number 56, you could see this is the failing. So that is the way you can get to know the failure reason. And if you go here, you could be able to see the part, and if you go to the console, you could still able to see 2 passed, 1 fail, right? What is the failure reason, you could still able to see here. Now if you just refresh the project, and if you again go to that one emailable report.html, every time you need to refresh it. Okay, open with, you could see 2 pass, 1 fail. What is the failure reason, you could see that is also coming in the report, HTML report as well. So that is the beautiful thing HTML, sorry, testing is already giving you. So that is the drawback of the hard assertion, is that, so this part executed, right, code before assertion came and remaining part did not execute. So that is the problem. So in case you are having 1000 line of code and your test cases get fail at 10th line, so 990 remaining line will not be executed. But that is my not aim. That is not my aim, right? Because I want to execute everything and I want to see how many failure is coming. That's all. So there might be, after 1000 test case run, 1000 line of code run, there might be 10 issues. So I want to notify everything, not a single issue. So that is the drawback of hard assertion. So to avoid it, we need to use the soft assertion. So how you can do it? Soft assertion. So there is a soft assert class available in TestNG. So what it will do, if the failure is coming, it will just fail the test cases, but execution will continue for the remaining line of code. That is the beauty of the soft assertion. So what we will do, instead of hard assertion, I will create a class here for soft assert. Okay, so you need to import it. Now with the help of the object sa.assert equals, same way you can call anything, right? Instead of integer you can call the string also. So give string called test, and here you give string called test1. It will not match. Okay, so now it is failure, but it will not fail. Okay, it will pass the test case. So I will let you know what it will passing. You could see 3 test case part, but it should fail. Actually assert is got fail, but it will still pass. So what is the tricks you need to do? So here, even though the first assertion fails, still the test will continue the execution and print the message. It will fail, it will pass. So what you need to do, in case you are using soft assertion, at the end you need to call assert all method. Then your soft assertion will be successful. So at the end, what I will do, assert all method, that I will call it. That's all. That is the strategy of testing. So now your assertion will be impacted. Test case will be fail, but your right remaining line of code will be executed. Test case is fail, you could see, right, failure. What is the reason? You could see expected test and coming test. But you could, you go to the console, you could able to see that remaining line of code, like code after assertion, which is after coming after the failure, right? Here it is failure is coming after the failure, it is still being executed. That is the way. In case you are having 100 line of code, maybe 10,000 line of code, in case your line number 50 test case getting failed, but that test step will be considered as a failed and error message will be there, but it will still try to continue the remaining line of code, and yet there might be multiple failure as well. Okay, so you could see there might be multiple failure like that, but only one test case will fail, but it will give you the multiple failure. Okay, you could see the first failure, right, fail. You could see 2 problem is coming, right? First one is failure is test1 test, and second one is test1 to test5. So all the problem will be coming here. Instead of stopping the execution at the line of code, it will try to execute all the remaining line, and in case any failure, all the failure it will be notified, and you can get to know what is the all failure, and then you can take the questions. Yeah, go ahead. What is your query?
So I couldn't understand the hard session part. Could you please repeat it?
Yeah, so hard assertion means, so suppose say here you are having 20 line, okay, just simple example. and you have given as hard assertion as the line number 5. So test case will be failed the line number 5, and remaining line, whatever line 15 line, will not be executed, because for hard assertion your execution will stop there for that particular test method or test case. Okay, that's the problem. So suppose say you are having 100 line, and 1 to 20 is good, so 1 to 20 will be executed, that not be a problem. At 21 line number your hard assertion is getting failed, so from 28 1 to 100 line, no, not remaining line will be executed, because you are getting the hard assertion failure. But in case you are using soft assertion, to test case will be fail, and at that problem, at that step error message will be coming, but it will try to execute still like 22 to 100 steps, and in case again error message is coming, it will be displaying there. That is the difference between hard assertion and soft assertion. So in real time better to go with the soft assertion. We do not recommend to use the hard assertion. So just for clearing the context, right, I have tried to cover it only, but in the real time always go with the hard assertion. Is it clear or still doubt?
Clear now.
Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. Then I'll go with the dependency, right? We already told about the dependency part. Okay. So say we already discussed, right? We are having suppose say different part, right? Login, like then searching the product, all this stuff. But in case you are running everything, so it will fail the test cases. Okay. But I don't want to fail it because same test case will be repeated again and again. So I can make something dependent. In case dependent test case got passed, then only it will be executed. Okay. So what you can do? So my test case number 1 is getting failed. So this is for related to the login part, right, or searching the product, and I can make something called dependent adds. Depends, you don't know, press like that and depend now, just press alt enter. Depends on group method. What you need to do, you need to give second bracket and the method name. That is the way, second bracket, and what is the method name called test1. In case you can give multiple. Okay, now what will happen, you could see as of now 3 test cases executed, test 2 pass, test 3 pass, right? Now if you want to run it, what will happen? So you could see one test case getting skipped. Why? Because test 2 is dependent on test 1, but test 1 is getting failed. So in case suppose the first test case here for login, second test case here for searching, third test case for the payment, fourth test case for the returning other stuff. So your login successful, and second test case your product is not searchable, then there is no point of executing the payment and returning test cases. So I simply don't want to waste my time. I can simply skip this test cases execution. That is the way I can make something dependent. Only it will work in case test case is passed. In case test case is failed, it will never work. It will simply skip. Okay. So dependency is a feature in test engine that allows a test method to depend on a single or group of test method. This will help in executing a set of tests to be executed before a test method. Method dependency only works if the depends on method is part of the same class or any of the inherited class mean base class. So you can give n number of method. So say first login method, right? Then your method name is searching the product. So searching the product you can make dependency login method. Then payment. For payment I can make 2 dependency. One is the login, one is the adding the product to the cart. Returning I can make 3 dependency. One login is successful, I will check. Then the product is there, then I will make the payment, right? Then only I can return it, so I can make it. That is the way. In case something failing, that will be simply skipped. We can do it, simply not waste the time. But in case your test case getting passed, so your dependence method will be executed because your login successful, your product is there, so you can make the payment. There is no worry. So now you could see 3 pass. So nothing is getting skipped. Okay. Then suppose say sometime you, if you something skip, right, you don't want to skip it. So here like give it to, so my dependency method is getting failed, right? So it will be skipping the test case. But sometime I don't want to skip some of the methods. Suppose say I want to close the browser, I want to still execute something, I don't want to skip it something. Right here. Okay, you could see this is the skip, and you could see what is the error message is there for the skipping part. You simply say, okay, that's why it is skipped, because your dependent method does not run successfully. Method test2 depends on not successfully finished method. That is the reason. If you go to the output folder, refresh it again, and you can just report. So you can able to see that one method got skipped, right? Pass, skipped, and failed. Why it is skipped? Skipped. You can able to understand that's result. But in case your dependency method is getting failed, but still you want to execute, then what you need to do? You need to make always run attribute equal to true. So though your dependent test one is getting failed, still you can want to forcefully run it if you wish to do for some instances. So I can use here comma always run equal to true. So now though my thing is getting failed, still it will be running trying to execute it forcefully, and whatever based on the circumstance it will pass or fail. Now you could see test2 got executed because I have used always run equal to true, though my test1 is getting failed. So that is the importance of always run attribute. So in case always run attribute set to true for any test annotation, this test method will always be run even when the dependent method got failed or skipped. So always run equal to true with comma sign. Then say in case I want to execute a particular test case n number of times, then what I can do, I need to make invocation count. Okay, so here I will do say invocation count equal to 5, so it will be executed for 5 times. You could see why 3 test cases but it is showing a 7. Why? Because test case 1 executed 1 time, test case 2 executed 1 time, and test case 2 executed 5 times. So now you could see that is the reason, right? In case of some test cases you need to run 10 times for data creation, so simply you can give invocation count equal to 5, 10 like that. So it will be executed and like that way, 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 3 by 5, 4 by 5 like that. And if you go here you could able to get it, right, result 5 times. You could see output for test 2 to 5 times, and this is the way 5 times executed. Right, now if you refresh it, open with web browser, right, you could see that this is executed for the 5 times, 2 2 2 2 5 times. No one failed, 5 times got passed, and this total time spent. Okay, now say here instead of that I want to fail it again. So true and false it will fail, right? So what will happen in case there is a failure? So what will happen? It will only execute for 1 time and remaining 4th thing will be fail. You could see skipped. Okay, sorry, it will be fail only, right? So all the thing is failed. Okay, but that is not good sign, right? In case one iteration is getting failed, it will try to fail all, execute and fail all iteration, but I know the error, right? So I don't want to fail it every time. Only in case passing, then I can make it pass, but in case failing, so I don't want to fail it. So how can I save my time? Okay, so invocation count in testing attribute the defined number of times test method should be invoked or executed before executing any other test method. If invocation count is 10, then the test method will execute for 10 times. But in case like test case is getting failed, I don't want to run those failure part, because it will simply waste my time. I know that because of some issue it got failed. So what I can do, I can use skip failed invocation equal to something called true. Skip failed invocation equal to true. Let's see. So whenever there is a failure, it will only fail one time and remaining iteration will be simply skipped. You could see, right? Only failure only one time, and it will never consider the remaining one. Okay, so you can go here. It is skipped to actually, right? Because same thing will happen and it will run the thing and fail it, because I don't want to fail your result. Okay, so it will be simply skipped. It will never try to run it, it will waste no time. But in case it is a past, then it will execute all the time, though your skip fail invocation is given. So it will execute for the 5 times. That is the beauty of lot of annotations in testng. So you can save the execution time and you can get the result quick span of thing. Okay. There's something called timeout also there. Say, right, that is primarily used for the primary performance testing related area. But suppose in case you want to say you have given 5 minutes time. Okay, and you say that within 5 minutes, let's see how many number of execution is possible. Suppose say test data creation, one test data creation required might be 10 minutes, and you have said that, like, let's see within an hour how many testing can be done. So you have given invocation count as 10. Okay, and you have given timeout as say 10 second, 10 minutes, and total time as 60 seconds, 60 minutes. So it will only execute 6 thing and remaining will be failed because it's timeout. So that is the way you can get to know how much time every iteration is taking. So that is the concept of invocation timeout. So these are the different attributes which primarily you need to understand whenever you are dealing with the test engine. Any questions? All good? Okay. Then the last topic is important, I'll cover it. As of now, we see that we can run a single class which is testng class. Okay, one by one, right? But let's try to create one more class, say one more package first. Say training one, and let's try to create a testng class here. Okay, testng season 8. So here I can give something called test 1 1. I can give something called test 1 1 method output. Now I can run it also with the help of the testng test. But similar problem is coming. I can only run one class at a time, and also I cannot change the suit name or test name. It is coming again the package name, the class name, and the method name, what time taken, right? But in case you want to run everything, all the testng class in the same time, then how can you do it? So you need to convert that project to testng. Right click here, use testng, convert to testng. Okay, now you could see you are able to create some testng.xml file, and here can you give some suit name, right? Say testng suit testng test, that you can give it based on your requirement. Now you can just keep this. Okay, finish. So there's a testng.xml file got generated here, you could see. That is the heart of testng. Now if you open it, so wherever testng class is there, you can keep them. Remaining thing you can remove them, because Java class will not work in the testng generally. Okay, so now this is the two testng class I have done. Now you can change the suit name, change the test name from here also, and you can have n number of method added. Now you can have n number of class run. What is the class tag name? First suit name, then the test name, then the classes tag. Within the classes tag you can have n number of test ng class, which is nothing but the package name, not the class name, and need to end with classes tag, and need to end with test tag, and need to so that is the way. Sometimes interviewer will ask question. So what is the pattern of, now you could see the, whenever you want to run dot test engine dot xml file, option is coming as test engine should, not test engine test. You could see here, you already see java class, right? Java, here it is coming as test engine test, and here if you want to run it with the test engine xml file where multiple classes might be there, from multiple packages it will be coming as test engine should. Now let's run it, and let's see, both the thing will be running, both the class. Now you could go here, you could see, right, the suit name got changed, test ng suit, test ng test, and here this class run and another class also run. Okay, okay, and you can get the result. Now let's try to create now one more class, test ng class. Say give training then you can give some output, change it like that, anything. Say 1 2 or 2 1, you can change it to 1. Now you can run it with the test ng test. Now if you want to add it there also, what you can go to the test ng xml file, copy it and paste one more line and change the class name. Package is still same, training, right? So you need to give first training package and then the class name. Now you could see 3 class will be run together with the help of the testing. That is the way, right? You could see 3 class run, one class this method, second class this method, third class this method. Now if you refresh your project and go open that one, okay, so this is the testing suit name got changed, testing test name got changed, this is the thing coming, and next one, right, coming next, like all this stuff you could able to see, total number of method, total number of failure, all this stuff, right? If you go to that one, testing fail.xml, I will cover it next session, open with, right, generate text, you could able to see how many test cases got fail. You could see test method got fail only, which is coming from training.session8 package, remaining is got passed. That is the way you can also verify it. Okay, that is the way I have covered in the last topics. Okay. So I will just reiterate one more time, then you guys, you are having any questions we can discuss. TestNG is test next generation is a framework inspired from JUnit. JUnit came first, primarily used by the developer for the unit testing, but TestNG having a lot of added features used by the testing team for functional testing, integration testing, end-to-end testing, all this stuff. There are lot of important thing is there. You can use n number of assertion, hard assertion, soft assertion. You can do the parallel testing. You can make something test case depend on the other. You can prioritize the test case. You can do the grouping part, which will be covered in the next session. Data-driven parameters also will cover in the next. Reporting is there. You can generate beautiful report, right? And then parameters is nothing but with same parameter, same value, you can run n number of test cases. Whereas data-driven testing is nothing but same test case you can run with the different variety of the data. Okay, you need to go to the active marketplace. You need to install TestNG, so that will be installed on your Eclipse level. After that, you need to associate your project. It's a library because it is not a jar file, it's a library. Once it is there, after that, for all the packages, all that classes, TestNG will be implemented. You need to create TestNG class. Then there are a lot of annotations. At the test will be always considered the test cases, but other annotation will be considered as a precondition or the post condition for the TestNG. right? You can enable or disable test with the help of the enable equal to false or true. You can prioritize the test because priority is already required, otherwise it will try to execute the test case based on the alphabetical order, right? You can add assertion. Hard assertion will always stop the execution there, but better to use soft assertion so that in case some failure is coming, right, execution will not stop there and you can proceed in the remaining line of step. Depends on method. In case you want to make something dependent, you can use dependent on method. So only for the pass it will be executed, for the fail it will be skipped, but in case still you want to execute it, you can use or less than attribute equal to true. Invocation count means in case you want to execute same test case again and again and again in number of time, you can use it invocation count equal to x. It will be executed for the x times, but in case of failure it will be fail all times, but I don't want to fail all the test cases, so better to do as, right, skip fail invocation, so that in case failure only one time it will fail, remaining thing it will be executed, it will be skipped. And you can you can have n number of classes, testng classes, and after that you can add them in the testng xml file. You can change the suit name, class name, and classes tag. Under the classes tag, class will be tag will be there, which will be package, not class name. And you can run as a testng suit where n number of classes from the same project can be run at a simultaneously. And in next session I will cover the parameterization, grouping, data driven testing, listeners, and how to do the parallel testing and other stuff. Okay, so that's all guys from today's session. Thank you.